Welcome to Spiritual Foundations for Life. In the New Testament, the primary words for anxiety are the Greek noun merimna and the Greek verb merimneo. Of the 25 uses of these two Greek words, 5 indicate a sense of caring, while the other 20 refer to a distracting, negative sense of worry or dread. In the positive sense, we should feel anxious if we have an important responsibility to fulfill, and it should motivate us to take the necessary steps to carry out our responsibility. Most of our anxious thoughts, however, are of a negative sense, and they're not profitable, and they can actually lead us to psychosomatic illnesses. Worrying doesn't accomplish anything, and it won't prevent something from happening. We're not going to help the airplane stay in the air by worrying. And we're not going to improve the odds in our favor by fretting about all that could go wrong. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 27, "Can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to your life?" On the other hand, excessive worrying can take some years off of your life. Remember that anxiety differs from fear, in that fear has an object, whereas anxiety doesn't have an object. We are anxious because our future is uncertain and we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. This process of worrying can be more debilitating than actually experiencing the negative consequences of what we worried about. In fact, some of us feel relieved when the anxious waiting period is over, even if the thing that we worried did happen, but it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. It's easier for us to live with what is than it is to live with what if. When we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, we're tempted to make assumptions. It seems to be a peculiar trait of our minds to assume the worst. However, nothing good can come from making negative assumptions and then acting on them as though they were facts. The root of the Greek word merimna is the verb merizo, which means to draw in different directions or to distract. When the Greek word merimna is used as the verb merimneo, it is actually a conjunction of two Greek words, merizo, which means to draw in different directions, and nous, which means mind. And that is probably why the translators of the King James Version translated "do not worry" in Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 as "take no thought." Don't let that thing get in your head. And why do you worry in Matthew chapter 6, verse 28 is translated as "why do you take thought?" Right? Why do you put that stuff in your mind? Why do you allow it to be there? So in essence, to be anxious in a negative sense is to be double-minded. And James says in James chapter 1, verse 8, that a double-minded person is unstable in all of their ways. You know, this is clearly revealed in Jesus' words in Matthew chapter 6, verses 24 to 25. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and you will despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life. When Joshua gave his farewell address to the people of Israel, the Israelites had not yet fully possessed the land, and they had a lot more battles to fight. And so Joshua, knowing that his leaving might create uncertainties in their mind, get them being anxious, he reminded them how the Lord had delivered them. And then he encouraged them. He said in Joshua chapter 24, verses 14 and 15, "Fear the Lord and serve him with all faithfulness. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will be serving." Okay, no double-mindedness here. "But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." What was he saying? Don't be double-minded. Don't be anxious. Make your choice now. Choose to serve the Lord and trust him. Our key point today is that the mind that is focused on Christ is anxious-free. James, and our key verse, James chapter 1, verses 6 and 8. You must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. Such a person is double minded and unstable in all they do. God bless you. See you tomorrow for another episode of Spiritual Foundations for Life.